Hello and welcome to Renewable English's first special guest, our first expert guest. And we have with us Shirley Cato, who is a water saving expert. She is also my nanny and one of my all-time life heroes. Hi there, Shirley. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Harry.
It's a real pleasure to have you on. Is it okay if we ask you a few questions?
Yes, go ahead.
Fantastic. So the first question, something we really care about here at Renewable English is inspiration. So what inspired you to start saving water?
I lived in Australia for 3 years and every property there had a water meter. And I realised how precious water was, especially in Australia. And I think we are here going through a dry period. We keep having very hot summers, so we really need to conserve water.
Absolutely. I mean, I couldn't agree more. I think, as you say, we're going through a dry period. I think with climate change, these long hot summers, I mean, I live here in Spain where it's always been hot, but I mean, I know looking at my friends in the UK saying, oh, it's 36 degrees today, and it's not something that's normal in the UK. No. I know growing up there. So yeah, that was, it's something that we really need to look at. So I'm going to move on to the next question. And that is, now this is something I know I've learned so much about from you. And we employ most of these in our house, I know, but what are your top water saving tips?
Only use the washing machine when you have a full load. Keep a jug of water in the fridge. Try not to buy water from the supermarket. Have a water butt to catch the rainwater for your garden. When you clean your teeth, have a glass of water. Don't do it under a running tap. If you have a tap that drips, put a bowl under it to catch the drips until you can get the washer fixed. I use 2 washing up bowls. If I haven't got very much, I'll use a smaller one. And when I bath, I save the water to flush the toilet.
Now that's something that Alicia, well, your great-granddaughter, my daughter, has really taken on board. I mean, we don't have baths very often in this house. If we do have a bath, it's usually, you know, Hema, my wife, will have a bath, and then I'll have a bath, and then Alicia will have a bath. This is something we might do in the coldest depths of winter, but usually we have a shower. But
yeah, well, if you have a shower, you need to collect the cold water before it runs warm.
Exactly. And we'll see something like that in Ali's top tips coming up, because Ali learned all of her water saving tips from this very special lady who we've got on here. So you'll see with her tips soon about collecting the water. And that's one that I'd never really thought of. And it's the thing that people do with the washing up as well. They turn the tap on and they put a hand under it to make sure, oh, it's not hot, it's not hot. Oh, now it's hot. And then they get in. But it's that idea of, don't let that just go down the plug hole. Collect water.
No.
I know that in your house,
precious.
Yeah, I know that in your house, water doesn't go down the plug hole very often.
No.
Now, unfun facts just a moment ago. On average, 95% of the water in an average household goes down the plug hole. But in Nanny's house, I tell you now, 95% of the water doesn't go anywhere near the plug hole. Maybe 5% escapes and somehow gets down the plug hole. But this lady is an absolute champion. And that leads us on to our next point. She is a water saving champion. Now, I've known this my whole life. My family's known this our whole lives. but she became a bit famous a few years ago because of this. Now, can you tell us about your Thames Water fame and how that came about?
Yes. I had a phone call from Thames Water asking if they could come down to discuss water saving and to check my water meter. My granddaughter, Ellie, your sister, looked at my water bill and said, no wonder they want to come and check your water meter. You haven't used very much. They probably think you're stealing it from the new river, which runs alongside my house. So Ellie does no more. She phones Thames Water to say, my nan hasn't done anything wrong. Honestly, she just is good at saving water. So then they asked if they could come down and interview me. And they did. And I showed them what I did. And as luck would have it, one of the people that came, who I thought was just a photographer, but he ended up being a manager, he came from Australia. So we had quite a bit to talk about with Australia, because the Australians have a saying, when they go to the toilet, if it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down. I don't go quite to that extreme, but I could see the logic. I could see the logic.
Absolutely. Now that's something that we talked about again in our unfun facts. So it's one of my favorite phrases now. And because I drink quite a lot of water, hopefully it isn't too yellow when I leave it mellow. But yeah, that's fantastic. And obviously I've put the link in to that special interview. I've put it below in the description box. And I will be letting everybody see that on our Instagram page as well. And Nanny had her own hashtag. So Be More Shirley was Nanny's hashtag. So check it out and you can go and have a look at that interview, that video. And that's all we have. That's all we're going to ask you today, Nanny. I'll be speaking to you again and you can keep informing me of your water saving crusades. I would like to ask you another question. I know it's a surprise, but this one is, what do you think when you hear the rain outside?
Oh, wonderful. My water butts will fill up and I won't have to water the garden or water the pots. The rain will do it for me. That
is amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today, Nanny. It's been a real pleasure. It's been great to have you as our first guest. And thanks for sharing your expertise.
You're welcome, Harry. Lovely speaking to you.